and welcome to Business PNG. Today we have with us Mr. Sid Yates, who is the CEO for the Kina Group of Companies. Sid, hello and welcome to Business PNG.
Thank you very much.
Now Sid, you've been a very strong advocate and supporter of international investment in PNG. Why?
Well look, Papua New Guinea, especially in our own company, we've been fortunate enough that we invested probably 17 years ago, and we've started with very small, with just a couple of people, and today we have about 170 people working for us across a wide range of financial services. We've always recognised that Papua New Guinea is a land of opportunity, especially for investors. We've got a lot of good things happening with Papua New Guinea. We've never missed a loan repayment as a country. They've got a robust form of democracy. For international investors, they speak English as a language. And we have a very good legal system, which gives you a right of protection in law. So in those sorts of things, and of course there's all the opportunities that come with that.
Okay, Mr. Yates, how is global investment in LNG energy and mining resource, which will be going into overseas markets, provide real benefits and help Papua New Guinea and its people now and in the future?
Well, we've heard so much about the LNG project. It's costing about $17 billion to build. The revenues from that will go on for probably up to 40 years, and from 30 to 50 billion Kina in revenues direct to the state. And it gives the opportunity, providing it's managed correctly, for all Papua New Guineans to benefit from that. Of course, the big if is to make sure that we manage that effectively. And the government's got some things in place with the Sovereign Wealth Fund and to make sure that we manage those revenues going forward over time. But Papua New Guinea, we need that sort of investment. We can't survive without investment in Papua New Guinea, and to take advantage of all the resources that we have here. And if we can get that, manage the development of that to the benefit of not just the investor, but also the people of Papua New Guinea, we should all be happy in the long term.
Okay. Now, Sid, you're talking about benefits to Papua New Guineans. Is there any specific areas that you see from companies, like in terms of capacity building? Is there anything specific there with regard to investment in Papua New Guineans?
I got asked a question some time ago about investments, and they said, what's the best investment you can make in Papua New Guinea? And I thought about it for a while, and I said the best investment we can make in Papua New Guinea is invest in our people. And that's about investing in education, about investing in their skills and about their development. We've seen the benefits of that happening in the past, where especially some of our young workers that have grown up through the resource sector and the mining companies that have had the benefit of that very good training and development, and they're now working overseas. In fact, we're actually exporting our talent, and we should be keeping it here. And if you saw what happened with the LNG project, when there's quite a large number of workers involved, and Papua New Guinea could only supply a very small number of those. And obviously, in the future, we'd like to supply the majority of that.
Now, Mr. Yates, are the investors and the general community members able to invest their savings for the long-term benefits?
Yes, there is. I mean, we have a very strong financial sector in Papua New Guinea. The banks are very robust. They're expanding their services out throughout the country. We're coming within the technology age too. We have mobile phone banking, we have the internet, and we have mobile, obviously we can, anywhere these days, even in the highlands where people don't even have power, they can still use their mobile phones or solar.
Yes.
We also have, more recently, our company, Kina Securities, participated in helping develop Papua New Guinea's first listed investment company, which was called Kina Asset Management Limited. That gave access to nearly 3,000 new shareholders, individual Papua New Guineans, to be able to invest in a scope of shares that somewhat diversified. They were able to participate in markets that they couldn't otherwise participate. And it's not a replacement for some of their other savings, but it's also just to give them an opportunity where they can invest and have, when they're retirement, they have some sort of other means as well. But apart from that, I think Papua New Guineans are now getting more types of products that they can invest in through the financial services sector, and those things are going to come about as more and more people become more aware of what's going on and overseas.
viewers, welcome back to Business PNG. Sid, now could you tell us a bit more about the Kina group of companies?
Oh, certainly, Michael. Kina, I came to Kina when we were very small in 1997. We had, I think we had 6 employees in those days, and we operated out of a little office down at Connie Dover. We used to have holes in the roof, and we used to have this water. We had 2 computers, and none of our staff really knew how to use them. And the only business that we had in those days was stockbroking. But I had this vision, and where we wanted to believe, and that going forward we wanted to develop into financial services, and that was about, we established a finance company first called Kina Finance, and that's it's grown quite large now, and during that time we bought a company called PNG Home Finance, which also provides housing finance to Papua New Guineans, and we developed a product called Easy Loans, which I think a lot of Papua New Guineans are aware of. And that's grown to probably being one of the leader market players in the non-bank financial institutions. We've also, given that the reforms of the superannuation legislation, and that back in 2001 and 2002, we developed a company called Kina Funds Management, which is a licensed fund manager or investment manager with the Bank of Papua New Guinea. So we went through and set up all the places to do that. Today we probably manage between 3.5 billion to 4 billion Kina in funds. And you know, we've got a couple of large clients, and the funds have performed quite well over that period of time. We also have a fund administration business which is licensed by the Bank of Papua New Guinea, which is called Kina Investment and Superannuation Services. So the people at the superannuation funds, they manage the money coming in, the money going out, and when they want to, you know, retire and they collect their money, that would come. All these reforms were brought about by Samir Kerry Murata during his term of government up in 2001. Yes. The principle of that was on the back of what happened with the old NPF. So it's made a strong pillar in the superannuation industry. We also have a trustee company called Kina Nominees, and on top of that we've got the main Kina Securities business, which we also do corporate advice and help in mergers and acquisitions. Our stockbroking business is about the smallest business we have now, but we also have strategic alliances with Credit Suisse, and they give us a lot of research, and we have a strategic partnership with them. We're also with the Royal Bank of Scotland that actually provides some advice to us as well. Today our company is, even though we've grown to around 170 people, we have very strong foundations in place. We have a risk management division which has a market risk section that run by people that we've employed that have strong experience in Europe and North America. We're on the operational risk side. If you couple that with all our people, the expertise we have, the young Papua New Guineans, and the software and system development that we've spent a lot of money on, together with our risk management, we have a very strong foundation to provide very good service to all Papua New Guineans and landowner companies, fund management and superannuation funds in their future. I put it this way, that I had this saying to one of our staff. I said, if you think of you had a Kina to invest, you can stick it in, we can give you interest, we can help you invest it in super, you can invest in a share portfolio, or you can invest it in a funds management business. You can also borrow money for a car, for education. So pretty much we cover off everyone's financial needs in the future.
Okay. Now, so in terms of accessibility to Kina, can you explain to us or tell us a bit more about some of the locations that you have that Kina services are available to people in PNG?
Certainly. We operate out of Port Moresby. We have our main office in Port Moresby. We have a soon to be open at Vision City. We have an office in Waigani and in Kokopo in Lae. And of course, by phone, internet, you can contact us just about any time. Okay.
Is there any aspirations of moving into the Pacific or outside of PNG?
Look, Papua New Guinea is the biggest country in the Pacific. I mean, probably in terms of business as well. And we're probably, I think, in economic terms, if you take out New Zealand and Australia, we're probably more than double the rest put together. We've looked at strong opportunities to invest offshore. We've been asked numerous times by organisations in those countries, and we do a little bit of work from time to time in those other countries, but look, we've been working hard to build this foundation here, and I think there's a lot of opportunity still in Papua New Guinea. But that's not to say no, we won't look at it. It's just we are looking at it, but our most important focus at the moment is in Papua New Guinea.
In Papua New Guinea. Now, Sid, tell us a bit about if I were to join Kina Group of Companies, what kind of induction program should I be looking forward to?
All right, well, the first day you walk into Kina, you go through an induction program on that day, and you're given a plan of where you'll be going over, firstly, the next 3 months
Yes.
through your probation period.
Yes.
But during that, the next thing that happens is during that 3 months is that we have an induction course, and we call it Performance Excellence. That's our basically our induction course, and that's run any time from about someone being an organisation from 1 week to up to 3 months, and that's a 2-day program. They learn a little bit about the history of Kina, where we've come from, and that's important because they need to have a connection. We want so that course also covers about how to communicate. It covers about what we expect of them. Our number one objective is our customers are the most important people that we have, and about how dealing with customers and also internal customers. It's no good just having someone that just have face to face, but they need to understand that if they're working in a support division of ours, how important it is to deliver service within the company to the people that actually are delivering it to the customer. So in the first 3 months we go through that, and they also, we give them an opportunity to have a bit of a scorecard on Kina when they, if they've been there in that 3 months, on what their vision was coming in, what it is now, and did it match, and what areas that we can improve upon. Because we do have a lot of people coming from other companies or new people that have different views and they have great ideas, and we're a company that we really want people to contribute those ideas because we always want to see if we can improve. Apart from that, we run our biggest program is a leadership development program that takes 12 months, and this is for our future leaders and managers of the company, and that's very intense. I mean, it costs the company a lot of money, but it's a program that goes over 12 months. It's a workplace development program. It's about going out doing these courses, and you actually learn something, but you actually have to put it into place in the workplace, and you get measured on how well you do that, and you come out at the end. And not everyone succeeds, but this is our 5th year we've been doing it. So we brought through a lot of good young leaders and managers, and you know what's exciting about it? It's really great to see the change in people in doing that. One other thing that we really like our young people to do is have some goals and visions, not just about what work, but it's about their life as well. And most importantly, we love to have passionate people, people that are passionate about what they do, passionate about where they want to go. And so they're the things that really we like to impose upon and encourage our young staff when they join Kina.
Okay, Sid, thank you for that. And viewers, now we'll go for a commercial break and we'll be back with you shortly. Welcome back to Business PNG. We'll continue our discussion with Sid Yates, who is CEO for the Kina Group of Companies. Now, Sid, PNG is described as an emerging nation. Are you prepared to forecast what will drive our national economy and how it will benefit our nationals now and in the future?
Gee, that's a good question. I think most obvious one is resources, and we've talked about that. We've got the LNG project coming up. We may have 2 junior LNG projects coming up, the Interoil project and the Talisman project, and hopefully they can get off the ground. We also have the Wafi Gold project that's done by Harmony and Newcrest, and that's a possibility, and that's looking a very potential gold and copper resource. So if we can get that up and running, that would be fantastic. We've also got the Freda River, which has been talked about for many, many years, and there's been a lot of money invested in that. We've got Yandera, as well, and then the Ramu nickel project has already come on board.
Yep.
And on top of that, we've got fishing as well. So there's so many of these sort of potential projects that are happening and in Papua New Guinea. So our main base is having resource. But Papua New Guinea also, we need to make sure that we got the capacity to be able to handle these projects. In the past, the LNG project took an enormous amount of capacity within the government just to be able to put that in place. The government's invested a lot of money into making that to work and building that capacity. But these projects that we've got coming on are going to require more capacity and speed to bring to market to make it work. So we've got exciting times ahead in Papua New Guinea, and if we can manage those effectively and at the same time encourage more companies to come and do exploration in the country, that's just in the, you know, we will benefit in the future of the resources. Obviously there's also industries that'll build off the back of that and within the country, and we need to encourage that as well. So we've got an exciting future ahead and in Papua New Guinea, and it's a very resource-rich country, and we've been described as a land of opportunity, but that's been described for many, many years. And if we're lucky enough to be able to, you know, we just don't want to be recognised as a land, we want to be recognised as something that has actually made it happen.
Okay. Now, Sid, just outside of the resource sector and the boom there, you touched a bit about the fishing industry and possibly on agriculture. Now, where do you see the biggest sort of growth in that area, and investment from which part of the world do you see coming into our economy?
Well, the fishing industry, which I'm not an expert on, by the way, we have a lot of fishing resources, and there's obviously a demand for it. There's with the up there at Madang, the marine park, and that they're trying to develop more fishing canning factories and that sort of stuff. So and the market is trying to export into Europe. So we expect that the big fishing organisations that manage that will try and use that. But one of the things that I didn't mention to you before, and I still think tourism, and it's been my pet for a long time, and I've been fortunate enough to travel probably about 60 countries in the world, and I've always been very passionate about tourism opportunities in Papua New Guinea. I believe that in Papua New Guinea we have some of the best tourist products in the world. You know, we go from, you know, the highlands where you've got Lake Kutubu and the natural rainforests. We've got the beautiful parts of, you know, New Ireland, New Britain, and then the reefs that we have. We have world-class diving here, but we just lack the little bit of infrastructure that we need to develop these tourist products. And you know, that's a whole new industry in itself. And I mean, it just employs so many more people, but it also brings a lot of people to the country. And all those people talk about tourism and the wonderful spots they've had the opportunity to visit. You know, there's this perception about Papua New Guinea is that you know, it's not a safe place to come, and some of it's true to a certain extent. But the best thing about it is that I always take the opportunity that when we have a visitor to Papua New Guinea, is that we give them the opportunity to see a little bit about Papua New Guinea and meet, you know, people there, and they go away with a whole new view of what Papua New Guinea is really about. Okay.
Now, what would you say attracts international investments or investment companies to choose PNG as a nation in terms of opportunity in the global landscape?
All right. That's pretty simple, I think. First of all, you've got to have the opportunity. So it's the resource or whatever there is available. Secondly, the ease of being able to do business. And we're not ranked very high on the scale of matrix. I think we're in the bottom quartile for that.
Sure.
So we need to be at ease. I think that they need protection of when they make an investment, they need to be assured that their investment is protected through the courts and the legal systems. And pretty much, I think, if they can have, you know, a good environment to operate in. And it's all about risk and reward. If all those sort of things can be measured, and of course, if you can get the people, the trained and qualified people to help. So that's why it's very important to invest in our people. So if you get a mixture of all those right, we will attract people.
Okay. Now, how can PNG nationals improve their skills to take up the opportunities in the new industries and businesses emerging in our country?
I think we touched on that before, but obviously to invest in their skills, invest in their education and experience, and but we also need Papua New Guinea to be able to have the infrastructure there to help them develop that. And of course, through their work employment is to be able to do further development. and set your goals, what you want to achieve. You know, if you believe you want to do a certain thing, plan for it and drive yourself. You know, I've had this great belief that Papua New Guineans, they're as good as anyone in the world, and we proved that in the business sense, we proved it in the sporting sense. All they have to do is be given the opportunity.
Sure. Now, Sid, is there any particular message that you'd like to give new investors or current investment to invest in Papua New Guinea?
Look, Papua New Guinea is a good place to invest. Look, it's a land of opportunity, as we know, but look, the rewards are worth it. If you're prepared to come and invest and assimilate and have your faith, Papua New Guinea will show you the rewards.
Okay, Sid, thank you so much for joining Business PNG, and we wish you a successful 2012.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.